So it set me up for the album of Skillz to Pay the Bills. But I would have never believed that the pop success of that album would have been what it was, because it was lyrically an incredible album. It was a raunchy album. I said some real indignant, repugnant things lyrically on there, you know, and it was so funny that the pop community accepted it the way they did because of I Got a Man. And, you know, this is why I believe that, you know, I was a bridge, because I shoved hip-hop down the pop community's throat because of I Got a Man, and it forced them to listen to the rest of the stuff, which was so gritty and so street. So it's weird. I'm shocked to this day. You know, they still want to reissue the album now and have me record some new songs for it. So that's a beautiful thing. But yeah, I'm definitely surprised at it, but I'm glad it was what it was. Thank God for Skillz to Pay the Bills.
My mother's in her mid-60s and has very limited taste in hip-hop, but she can sing I Got a Man. When did you realize how far into the pop culture that song had reached?
I Got a Man was such a big record. I remember, it was so funny. I'll tell you two stories. YouHeard.com. I got into a cab in Midtown Manhattan one day, and there was an African guy who was driving the cab at that time. He was driving the cab. I didn't know the guy. And he got into the cab. I got in the back of the cab, and I was with a friend of mine. And the cab driver turned around and said, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh no, Positive K. This is Positive K. Oh my God, oh my God." And I was like, oh my God. He's telling me about how he used to listen to the song in his motherland, and he just got over here and he's driving taxi and he thought he'd never see anyone famous. He said, Positive K, Positive K, Positive K. And that really shocked me at that point in time. But what really shocked me was that when I had my office in Creative Control Records and Studios in Manhattan on 125th Street, my mother used to work there for me. And she used to answer phones and talk to people. Everybody loves her. You know, and she called me one day. She said, "You got a phone call?" She said, "You got a show?" I said, "Well, Ma, you know, I'm doing something right now. Call me back. I know I got to get a lot of shows." She said, "No, this is a very interesting show." She said, "Someone is called for you to perform for their birthday party." I said, "Who?" She said, "Aretha Franklin." I said, "Who?" She said, "Aretha Franklin wants you to perform for her birthday." And I said, wow. It was myself, Sarah Dash, Bobby Womack, and the Duke Ellington Band. I'm like, what kind of show do I put on for Aretha Franklin? But apparently she was on BET maybe a couple of weeks prior to that, and she was saying that she doesn't like rap music, but she loves that Positive K and that song I Got a Man. So I Got a Man reached the boundaries not only of pop people, but it crossed the barriers of age. I mean, little kids sang it. Everybody in the hood sang it. If you was hard, whatever you was, they sang it. Racial divides, different nationalities sang it, and of all ages. And when Aretha Franklin called me and told me she wanted to perform for a birthday party with that lineup that she had surrounded, I mean, I watched Bobby Womack sing Harry Hippie. I mean, and I got up and performed I Got a Man for her, and you know, everybody went crazy. It was phenomenal. And that's when I realized, YouHeard.com, that I said, well, okay, I think I'm here. I think I'm made it.
It's hard to follow up with the Skillz to Pay the Bills album.
I'm gonna tell you something. You know, everybody says, hey, I've heard a lot of criticism. People call me a one-hit wonder. People who haven't known that a lot of songs that I've done, like Step Up Front and Good Combination, songs that kind of like ground floor for hip hop. Night Shift being an independent record that showed artists to be independent, like RZA from Wu-Tang, who I hope him put out Protect Your Neck, and a lot of Showbiz and AG, who I hope do their song that they put out. They had so much success with. I was a guy that people looked at and said, "Hey, Positive K did it. We can do it too." I changed the face of music, and by doing duet records, probably making the first duet rap record. I am the father of the duet rap record. I've changed a lot of things in the face of this game. Yeah, I changed a lot in the face of the game, and I think I've done a lot for my contribution. And to follow up Skillz to Pay the Bills, I think I poured my heart into Skillz to Pay the Bills. I think that was some of the best work of rap. I got caught on the cusp of when gangster music came in, and at this point in time, I got kind of stereotyped of being a pop artist. Um, and gangster music kind of came in, the Snoop wave came in, and everything, and for me to come out with another "I Got a Man," it wasn't. That's not what I wanted to do because everybody was pushing me saying, "Hey, this guy's a pop artist," and I was so pissed off at the fact that people was labeling me as a pop artist, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I remember Leo Cohen, that was my manager at the time at Rush Management. He was like, "Hey, if you keep on going the way you're going, you're gonna be like Will Smith," and I was like, "Oh my gosh." But in hindsight, as I look back, wow, Will Smith wouldn't be a bad thing to be. But you know what? But following up with "I Got a Man," I was so trying to pull away from the pop success of it that I didn't allow myself to follow up to that record, you know. But I was saying, as time went on and as things morphed the way it is right now, the new album, Paws in Extreme, is going to be even more better than Skillz to Pay the Bills ever was. And it's going to be probably the greatest work, I think, of this time for this generation to listen to rap music the way rap music was. This is going to probably be the best body of work that I've made. And I think I have matched the Skillz to Pay the Bills, if not surpassed it, on this new project, Positive K and Extreme.
I personally think that is one of the best hip-hop albums ever recorded from the East Coast. When it comes to consistency, how many copies did the album SoundScan, and how many singles did I Got a Man sell?
I Got a Man and the album, it was so crazy because it was just like albums like the Brand Nubians. We fell into, it was a time frame where records didn't sell really that much. You know, the Brand Nubians had one of the biggest hip-hop classics that probably was out there, along with Skillz to Pay the Bills. And they sold like 300,000. I sold like about 400,000 copies of Skillz to Pay the Bills. And we sold 1 million copies of I Got a Man. But I Got a Man is still selling. It's been on a dozen compilations. Skillz to Pay the Bills is getting ready to be reissued and put in print again. And who knows at this point in time what the numbers are. But the album, the popularity of the album overcame the sales. I mean, you had songs that were selling hits, and you had songs that were turntable hits. I had a turntable hit album like the Brand Nubians did, and it was very big. I mean, it doesn't take the place of being a classic. I mean, for my pockets, I'm a little hurt, you know. But I had a lot of success with that album. That album is a great album. I think it's like you heard.com, like you said, it's probably the corner of hip hop. And I'm glad that you guys acknowledge it for the East Coast. I think it's one of the best hip-hop albums that was made, and I think this new album will be even better than
the
that.
soundscape of music switched to more gangster-driven sound. Do you feel this contributed to the drop in popularity of a lot of the East Coast artists?
Like I said before, you know, when I had so much pop success with the album and the record, I Got a Man, and the album Skillz to Pay the Bills, gangster, I was on the cusp of when Snoop Dogg wave came in, Dr. Dre, Chronic, the Detox and all that. You know, the East Coast was coming up and making their presence known. It definitely swayed the popularity of what was going on. I mean, it didn't change the content of the music or or what I was doing or my fan base, but it just opened up another avenue for people to pursue, to look at a different genre of music at the time, and it took a lot of attention off things that I was doing, you know, and it didn't eliminate me doing what I was doing, but it definitely took some of the attention away from what I was doing, because it was another avenue. It was just something. It was an alternative to what I was doing. So definitely, yeah.